Hi, I'm Nicholson from Lawnscience, one of the UK's leading lawn care providers. This video is meant to show you how you can renovate your lawn after a very tough season in 2010. It started by a very cold winter, which was then followed by a dry, cold spring, which was followed by a warm, in fact a very warm summer. And those are not the perfect conditions for lawns in the UK. So a lot of lawns in the UK are now looking a little bit worse for wear. However, all is not lost. September and October is classically the perfect time of the year to renovate your lawn. So if you follow the guides that we show you on this video, you'll be able to renovate your lawn and have a great lawn for spring next year. This area of the lawn is an example of where the hot weather over summer can cause problems. Here, it's been so hot that a fungal disease called dry patch has formed. In dry patch, the soil develops a waxy coating that actually prevents the soil particles from absorbing or retaining moisture. And you can see in this area the grass has become quite sparse and we've actually got weed ingress. If we don't get some grass into this area, we will have more weed grass and over winter possibly moss ingress. And therefore it's important to get some seed into this area so we can have a nice thick lawn in spring next year. The way to do this is first of all to scarify the lawn, then to overseed it, and then to put down a light top dressing. Another reason to scarify a lawn is to remove thatch. Thatch is basically decomposing organic matter that drops onto your lawn throughout the year. It's grass cuttings, dead parts of the plant such as rhizomes and stolones, and basically all the organic matter that falls on your lawn over the year. The best way to check your lawn for thatch is to literally cut a plug out of your lawn and have a look and you find some. In this example you can see the thatch layer is really from about here to the top of the grass. In this it's about half an inch, 3/4 of an inch. And if you break it down, you can actually see it's made up of dead bits of the grass plant. This is a little bit dry, so difficult to break down. But it's basically dead bits of the plant. And it kind of forms a mat over the lawn, very much like a sponge. With this mat on the top of the lawn, it stops nutrients, water getting from the top of the lawn into the root where it actually benefits the grass. So removing thatch on a regular basis is great for lawns, even if you don't need to do it to reseed after a tough summer like we've just had. In order to carry out scarification, you need a quality scarifier. This is the perfect example. It's a John Deere scarifier, it's a professional model, and you should be able to hire scarifiers at most hire shops. A scarifier basically consists of a shaft, a revolving shaft, upon which are mounted blades which cut into the surface of the lawn. You should adjust the scarifier so that the blades cut right through the thatch layer. So if you've got a ½ inch thatch layer on your lawn, you need to adjust your machine so that when the blades go into the lawn, they literally go into by ½ inch. It's also important if you're hiring a scarifier to make sure that the blades are sharp. Quite often hire shops leave the blades on the scarifier for months, and you might find you're scarifying your lawn with blunt blades, and that does not produce a particularly good result. So here we are with the scarifier. This particular scarifier adjusts the depth of cut into the lawn with a little bolt about here. Different models of scarifiers do this, and it's best to check when you purchase a scarifier how to adjust the depth. What we're going to do now is just do a little test run just to make sure we're cutting into the soil at the right depth. So we've done a little test scarification, and if you have a look you can see the grooves in the soil that the scarifier has cut. You actually just measure down, you can do it with a finger or with a little toothpick or match, you can actually just measure the amount you've scarified, you've cut into the soil, and that should be the depth of your thatch that you measured earlier on. Okay, so all we need to do now is scarify the area. Okay, so now we've scarified, and as you can see on this lawn we've gone for quite a tough scarification. It needed it. Don't be too worried about that. At this time of year in September, October, you can't really be too tough on a lawn. In fact, the tougher you are this time of year, the better the lawn reacts and comes back in spring. All we've now got to do is rake up the thatch, and at Lawnscience we use these special wolf rakes. They're about £30 a go. If you've not got one, you can use a normal rake. So let's get raking. Okay, having scarified the lawn, the next process is to thicken the lawn up by applying seed. There's basically two types of seed. There's seed for normal lawns and seed for shady lawns. However, within those two categories, there's lots of different types of seed mixture applicable to various soil conditions and other factors. Probably the best advice is to either go to a good quality garden centre who should be able to advise you on the different types of seed, or contact a lawn treatment professional and they'll have the suitable seed for your lawn. Two ways of sowing seed: you can use a seed spreader or you can sow by hand. You want to be sowing it about between 20 and 30 grams per metre. So if you're sowing by hand, just measure out 25 to 30 grams. Square out an area a metre square and then just spread that seed into that area, and that will give you an idea of what the coverage should look like when you're sowing by hand. We use professional seed spreaders, so we'll sow the seed. Okay, having spread the seed, now we need to work the seed into the soil. Seed does not germinate on top of soil, it actually germinates in soil. So if you just spread the seed on the surface of the soil and leave it, you're not going to get good quality germination, you're just going to provide good food for the birds. To work it into the soil is quite simple. Use a rake, you can use the sharp pointy end or the back of the rake for working it in, and what we're just trying to do is just get the seed worked into the soil so as little of the seed is visible as possible. Okay, so having worked the seed into the soil, the final part of the job is to apply good quality top dressing. Top dressing is a mixture of silica sand and loam and should be the consistency of fine sand, and it's really great for lawns. A lot of people don't top dress it. If you top dress your lawn on a regular basis, number one, it improves the root storage. You've got deeper rooting of the plant, which means you've got better drought tolerance, and number two, it also reduces thatch build-up. So it's a perfect treatment for the lawn, and the perfect time to do it is in autumn, after scarification and overseed. Again, you can spread top dressing literally by the spade and then just work it into the soil with a rake, or if you've got a professional spreader, you can use a professional spreader to do the job. Okay, that's the autumn renovation completed. The lawn doesn't look particularly happy at the moment, but believe you me, as long as we get a little bit of rain from nature, or if you water it about every 3 to 4 days for the next 3 to 4 weeks, you'll find that the seed will come up in about 4 weeks and you'll have a great lawn in spring next year. Of course, if you find all this a little bit too energetic, you can always get one of the team at Lawnscience to do this renovation for you. Just visit our website at www.lawnscience.co.uk or phone our nationwide free phone number 0800 389 2066 and one of our team will be quite happy to visit your property and assess your lawn and give you recommendations for autumn renovation.